Pinterest took him off.
Isn't that weird? Like he can't even use like PayPal.
Or Shopify.
Well, I don't know, but now he can't even use Bumble or Match.com.
I say that my dog is still able to have his own social media account.
And Trump can't. Like, it's insane. Now, but I did read an article that said this isn't really as big a deal as it's made to be. There's a bill right now that is very backed by the Democrats that's waiting to go through that has to do with social media. So especially Zuckerberg taking him down and then everybody else following helps them in the Democrats' eyes. If they really were doing this to shut Trump down because he is an issue, this should have been done 2, 3, maybe even 4 years ago.
Right. Well, now, I mean, I can honestly say that they did, they do censor. They were like totally blocking tons of the posts that were going on.
That's very true. They did well
in my little Trump, when I was in these Trump groups, but they were just insane posts. Like they really thought that some pizza shop basement was like the hub. Like these Q people are crazy. But I could see, because what if with one tweet, he can incite so much violence.
Yeah. Well, and he did. That's literally all that went off.
Right. But I'm talking like now with the inauguration coming. But
are you on Parler, Cindy? Did you get on?
I've been on there since the beginning. But
is he on there?
No, I don't see him.
Oh.
The thing with Parler is you've got to find the people to follow. It's like Twitter. And it's really hard to like hashtag because it's not censored. There's all kinds of porn stuff on there, like the young girls saying, here, call me, that type of stuff, which is exactly what that Section 230 was made for. Why Zuckerberg and them have the protection to boot people.
Yeah.
Because of porn. It was made to stop people from being allowed to post pornography, and it was given.
I'm impressed you know that number.
Yeah, it's a big, it was a big deal when he did it, which, I mean, for me, I guess it's not really, because, you can't have all these people posting, advertising or doing like nude cams live on Facebook, so it was made for that. But then they obviously to use it to also censor fake news, anybody who's inciting violence. And you know what? When they first started using it, it was way before Trump that they used it for other things than porn. It was to block ISIS. They had their own Facebook groups, that, to like monitor all the ISIS chat on there, terrorism, and then it just moved over to them constantly blocking stuff about Trump. But they all seem to be mad because Joe Biden's son apparently is accused of doing like some dealings with China and the Ukraine. And, that was a big thing on Fox. It's all they talked about. And they don't talk about that anymore because now there's like, they've got, bigger things to do to try to defend Trump and all this. But so the Democrats, they don't want that turned over, do they, Jen? The section?
No. I think they're for it, but there's something else. I don't know if that's the one, again, because I just sort of scan your news, because we actually have news going on up here sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a bill, I believe, that hasn't passed yet that they're waiting on, that the Democrats are backing, that Zuckerberg and all those guys need to go through. So them booting Trump makes them look better in the Democrats' eyes.
Oh, okay.
So doing it 2 weeks before he's done isn't really like doing anything.
Right. Well, and also, I mean, it's a private platform. He owns that. He can do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. Like, when did his platform become legally responsible to have people post whatever they want? It's his house. You shit in it. He's got a right to clean it up. It's his house.
Yeah. Do you think Trump will start his own something now?
I'm sure they got to be working on whatever he's probably going to try to start, obviously, because I don't know how else he's going to get his rhetoric out there for people to see. It just cracks me up that they're all still on Facebook.
I don't want to join another platform. Somebody send me pictures.
You don't want to look at it. I know. No, it won't be for you, Jen. You just stay off of it when it comes. I'll deal with it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm dealing with it. So,
right.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Me and you were chatting right before. Let's get back to like what's been going on in our lives. Yeah, I'm currently quarantining because I've been exposed for the 4,000th time to COVID, and I never really quarantined all the other times because I felt like it wasn't, that much of an exposure. But this time it's like, yeah, a lot of people and, whatever. But I took a test, I'm negative. So I guess I'm got a couple more days to see if I develop any symptoms. But the people I was exposed to, none of them got symptoms. So right now, nobody has them. Danielle did get her first shot, so she really can't risk getting COVID before her second shot. So this is what she's doing. She's spraying me with this, you guys may saw. But yeah, I'm negative, so it's fine. But Rachel was saying that in Jersey, she got to at least do a pre-registration for the vaccine, and she is not considered essential.
That's fun.
Yeah. So that's always interesting. She said you just filled out a questionnaire right online, right, Rachel?
It was through the New Jersey Department of Health.
Mm-hmm.
And so it, asked for your basic information and, your age and stuff like that. And then it came to a section that asked you what industry you were in. I'm in TV and film. I am working completely remote. I have been since March. But I know in California, TV and film people are considered essential workers.
Well, sure, yeah, because they're all up and running. I would say that. Well, I would say that in restaurants and stores, grocery stores, and yeah.
My parents have a friend who's a camera guy because they shoot a lot of films in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the last 4 months they've been back to work and he's getting daily COVID tests.
Yeah.
The money that they've been spending on, because I've been kind of part of that whole, one of my clients, his wife is in the New York Producers Alliance, and they're the ones that came up with the rules for the industry to come back. And what they do, they are spending millions and millions of dollars on testing and protocol, for everything. They have 3 different zones. Their paperwork, at the top of it says in bold capital letters, nobody on set is more important than the talent.
Oh, wow.
And at first I was like, oh my God, that's terrible. Where everybody's important. And I was like, no, wait a minute. Actually, they're right.
If they're not there, nobody's working.
Exactly. So they put everybody in pods. They work in pods of 4. And so if somebody gets COVID, there's only 4 people out rather than hundreds of people.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I know they made that big deal about Tom Cruise, flipping out and screaming at everybody on set. And, he was a little bit crazy, but then I didn't realize he had been shut down twice already, and it was costing him a fortune.
Yeah.
And
he rented a boat to keep a cruise ship or something. He rented to put everybody on so they could keep going and keep everybody safe.
Yeah, but then at one point he was screaming, you know what, I've got people out that work that have families to feed and I can't afford to, so I mean, I understand that, he was pissed and
he's crazy, but bravo to him.
Yeah, he is crazy. Yeah, but yeah.
Everybody in the industry that I've talked to, they have, completely supported what he did.
Well, everybody, right. And you know what? As crazy as he is, I have never heard anybody say a bad thing about him as far as working with him, that he is respectful. He's a hard worker. He cares about everybody. People always don't have a bad thing to say.
Yeah.
His ex-wives, they probably have signed, not to talk. It's a different story, but yeah, right. So, I don't know, but yeah. So I you know, and I think about that because I have gone back to, you know, I was watching, what is it, Grey's? And then there's a show before Grey's Anatomy, some fire show. I don't know. But oh my God, it's all about COVID. And I'm like, really? Do we need, I was like, oh, now I got to watch it on all the freaking TV shows. I'm like, let's just pretend that there's no COVID during these shows.
Yeah.
So we don't have to watch it too.
I've been watching, I watch a ton of documentaries, and lately, like every documentary, like new documentary that comes out is something about COVID, like how a country dealt with COVID or how people are dealing with COVID. I don't care. Just give me a murder. Give me something murdered in an alley. And
I want a good murder.
That's it.
There's probably been a lot of crazy murders happening, just nobody's reporting on it. That's why we're not getting any stupid news. We're not getting anything, Jen.
Somebody needs to get on it because
nobody's reporting it.
I need something to go to sleep to.
Nothing. Nobody cares. All they care about is the election and COVID. And you know what? Fox News doesn't mention COVID. There's no COVID on that channel.
Really?
No, nobody has
it. Isn't it a real hoax that only like the left people get it, and then the rights who go to the rallies?
They don't. Yeah.
Like there are people who are like taking their last breaths, and they're still like, it's a hoax. You know.
Yeah, I know. I have a couple friends that were like, that many people die from the flu every year. I'm like, not in a month.
Yeah, exactly.
These numbers are in a month. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But I tell you, everybody that I know currently that has it had like a slight runny nose, no other symptoms. Now, my daughter had it like 5-6 weeks ago, and she was really sick. And then another girl I work with had it at the same time, and she was really sick. It was more like diarrhea type of throwing up. And you know what I mean? And it wasn't like Indian in the chest, but it was like, it's so weird how it just seems to be changing. Now it's everybody I know just has like a runny nose or no symptoms. It's so bizarre, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, I know 2 people that are in the hospital with it.
Wow. So our hospitals are just overrun here. Like our town where I live, they've built a field hospital. So there's 2 in the province, one in Brampton, just outside of Toronto, and then one in our city. And all the Toronto people are being sent to our field hospital and they have like probably 20 hospitals in Toronto, and they just can't keep up. They were 350 was the magic number here. So that's ICU beds to staff where care starts changing. Either surgeries need to be rescheduled. So originally it was modeled that mid-January we were going to hit that. And then I think the first week of January, we hit that either New Year's Eve or the day before New Year's Eve. And then yesterday morning, we hit 400 in ICU. So like now they're looking at triage care. So
yeah, they're doing that here. So I've got a friend whose daughter is resident OBGYN, so she's doing like a lot of emergency work and stuff, and they set a tents up in the parking lot at the hospital here, and she's doing internals there when they come in to see if they need to be in if they're really in labor, but she's doing them out in the tent, and it's like 20 degrees here. So I'm like, who's heating up the KY jelly, right? And also I am like not only that, but
I saw pictures today.
I'm like, but wait, what about the speculum? Talk about your tongue on a lamppost.
Cindy, no.
What are they doing with that metal rod when it's 20 degrees?
I just sucked my hoo-ha up so far. I don't even know. Jesus.
I think I'm going to have some jokes in there. You know, I've been getting some new material.
You jot that one down. That was good.
Yeah, I got it down.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, so that's, you know, some of the crazy shit. Go ahead, Rachel.
Why aren't they bringing that Navy ship back to New York?
Well, you know what? New York isn't really the problem. I believe California is right now. They said they're taking notes at the door and seeing who needs the help the most. Other people have to drive 6 hours to go to the hospital.
Paramedics in LA have been told not to transport patients from houses they don't think are gonna make it. So